Friends, this is in continuation to the presentations on Hinduism, Hindutva and Dharma. In the past, in part 1 of a series of lectures on the subject, I have presented what Hinduism and Hindutva is, as we understand as we know it. Hindutva or Hinduism is the world's oldest religion, as the Western world calls it, though for us it's not a religion but a way of life. Its roots and customs date back to more than 5,000 years. 95% of more than 1 billion followers live in India. For all of them, Hinduism is Dharma, which is much above the narrow confines of a religion. For Hindus, truth is eternal. Brahman is the truth, and Vedas are the ultimate authority. Everyone should strive to achieve Dharma. Individual souls are immortal, and that the goal of every soul is moksha or liberation. Brahma is translated as God, soul, consciousness, language, or the infinitely expanded, eternal, unconditional mind. In part 2 of my presentation, I dwelt on what Hindu Dharma means to a Hindu and why it is and should be the same for all the human beings, whichever religion they may follow or whichever sacred text they may follow. Dharma for Hindus is a religious and moral law governing individual conduct. It means righteousness, practice of moral values, practice of economic values, practice of karma, pleasure, love, and psychological values. It's also moksha, it's also liberation and spiritual values. Dharma originates from the Sanskrit word dhri, which means to sustain, to carry, to hold, to bear. It refers to the underlying order in the nature and human life and behavior. As we know, Dharma for a Hindu is not a religion. It's much more than a religion. There is no appropriate equivalent word for Dharma in the English language. It means our conduct, our belief in ethics, our morals, and our self-righteousness. In fact, Dharma connects to the eternal truth or Brahman and elevates us to a higher plane. It allows us to merge with the ultimate or the cosmos. Our holy texts have tried to define Dharma in various contexts, and hence Dharma has a multitude of connotations, meanings. The reference to Dharma is probably contextual and depends on the holy text written in a certain period of time and the times that existed then. To explain Dharma, we must associate it with many ideas. It's a multi-skilled term. It's the divine law, or the law for the self, or the path for the rectitude. It's religion, ethics, duty, and responsibility. It's also virtue, justice, kindness, and finally the ultimate truth. However, all the holy texts, whenever they may have been written, tell us about the attributes of Dharma, how we should be in our conduct and behavior within the society, or what our Dharmacharana should be, how should we behave, Acharana. They also tell us how we end up in trouble if we neglect Dharma, besides telling us what Dharma can do for us if we sincerely adopt Dharma as a way of life. But then, in order to adopt Dharma as a way of life, we must understand the vastness of Dharma in all its facets. We must understand Dharma. This Saturday, I will speak to you in part 3 of my presentation on Dharma, the nuances of Dharma or its attributes. In part 4, I will explain you how our behavior should be, or simply how we should behave in the society. In part 5, 6, 7, I will explain as to how we should practice Dharma in our everyday lives. And in part 8, 9, I will explain, if followed correctly, what Dharma can do for us. Most of the slokas that I will translate and explain for you today are taken from Manusmriti, Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, Viduraniti, Chanakyaniti and many others. In Sanskrit, we use compounded words. We join words like they do in German. And it becomes necessary to break the compounds to understand the language. I'll try to break the compounds and simplify the language as much as is possible for me. So friends, let's look at some attributes of Dharma. What does Dharma constitute in itself? And let's see what Manusmriti says on this. Dhrutik kshama damosteyam shaucham indriya nigraha dhirvidya satyam akrodho dasakam dharma lakshanam. Dhrutik kshama damosteyam shaucham indriya nigraha dhirvidya satyam akrodho dasakam dharma lakshanam. Dhruti means courage. Kshama is forgiveness. Dhrutik kshama. Damasteyam. Dama means self-control. And asteyam, non-stealing or earning through righteous means. Shaucham indriya nigraha. Shaucham is purity. Indriya nigraha is keep senses or desires in control. Nigraha, in control. Dhir vidya satyam akrodho. Dhir vidya means intelligence based skills and education. Satyam akrodho dasakam dharma lakshanam. Satyam is truth. Akrodho, not getting angry. Dasakam is 10 dharma lakshanam, qualities of dharma. These are the 10 qualities of dharma. Therefore, what are they? The 10 qualities of dharma want us to practice are courage, forgiveness, self-control, not stealing others' wealth or earning by self-righteous methods, purity of purpose, keeping senses or desires under control, acquiring intelligence-based skills or education like reasoning, logic, analytical and so on, following the path of truth and never getting angry. So that is the spirit of dharma. यदि हिंदी में कहेंगे, इस श्लोक हमें सिखाता है कि धर्म के 10 लक्षण हैं. धैर्य, क्षमा, सत्यम, संयम, चोरी न करना, स्वच्छता, इंद्रियों को वश में रखना, बुद्धि, विद्या, सत्य और क्रोध न करना. These are the 10 qualities of dharma. Actually, something similar is also said in the following shloka. Ata ahimsa, kshama satyam, hisha shraddha, indriya sanyamaha, danam idaya tapodhyanam, dashakam dharma sadhanam. Ata means now. Ata ahimsa, kshama satyam. Now ahimsa, non-violence, kshama, pardon, satyam, truth. Hishraddha indriya sanyama. Hirsha means lajja or shame. Shraddha is reverence. Indriya are senses. Sanyama is similar. Danam is donations. Idaya is praise. Tapodhyanam, to meditate with single-minded purpose. Dashakam, in this decade, dharma sadhanam, practice of dharma. So, Ata ahimsa kshama satyam, hirsha shraddha indriya sanyama, danam idaya tapodhyanam, dashakam dharma sadhanam. Ahimsa, non-violence, kshama, forgiveness, seeking pardon, satya, truth, hirsha, self-consciousness, shraddha, reverence, These are all those properties or the context in which dharma is framed. Actually, these human perceptions and senses are similar to dana, praise, yajna, tapa, and dhyana. These are similar to the 10 dharmas. Let's understand another shloka. Dharma eva hato hanti dharmo rakshati rakshitaha tasmat dharmo nahantavyo mano dharmo hato vadit dharma eva hato hanti. That which destroys dharma is destroyed by dharma. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. Dharma protects that which protects dharma. Tasmat dharmo. That is why dharmo nahantavyo. Will not kill me. Mano dharmo hata. Do not fear that dharma will kill you. It will let you live avadhit. So what it says is dharma eva hato hanti dharmo rakshati rakshitaha tasmat dharmo na hantavyo mano dharmo hato vadhit. And that is the spirit of dharma as it protects us. If we protect dharma. That one who destroys dharma is destroyed by dharma. And dharma protects all that which protects dharma. That is, dharma protects us if we protect dharma. This shloka tells us that we should follow dharma always and that we should not forsake dharma ever. जो पुरुष धर्म का नाश करता है उसी का नाश धर्म करता है और जो धर्म रक्षा करता है उसकी रक्षा धर्म करता है. इसीलिए मारा हुआ धर्म कभी हमको न मार डाले, इस भय से धर्म का हनन अर्थात त्याग कभी करना नहीं चाहिए. लेट्स सी वन मोर डायमेंशन ऑफ धर्म. तर्क विहीनो वैद्यः लक्षणहीनश्च पंडितो लोके भाव विहीनो धर्मो नूनम अस्यन्ते त्रीणि अपि. तर्क विहीनो वैद्यः. तर्क मीन्स लॉजिक, विदाउट लॉजिक. विहीनो, without logic. Vaidya is a doctor. Lakshanaheenascha pandito loke. Lakshana means morals. Heenascha, weak morals. Pandito, learned men, and loke in this world. Bhava vihino dharmo nunam hasyante trini api. Bhava is spirit, emotion. Vihino is again without. So without spirit or emotion. Dharmo dharma, nunam, worth or value. There is no worth. Nunam, hasyante, laughing at. Without dharma, there is nothing in value available. Hasyante, laughing at triniyapi, in the world. A doctor who does not use logic, a learned man without morals, and a dharma that has no soul, these are worth laughing at in this world. So says the shloka. Tarka vihino vaidya, lakshana hinascha pandito loke, bhava vihino dharmo, nunam hasyante trini api. So how should dharma be followed? Pramanya vriddhir vedeshu sadhananam anekata. Upasya nama niyamaha etad dharmasya lakshanam. Pramanya vriddhir vedeshu. Pramanya is natural. Vriddhir is growth. Vriddhi. Vedeshu, in Vedas. Sadhananam, in disciplined ways. Anekata is many, in many disciplined ways. Pramanya vriddhir vedeshu sadhananam. Anekata. Upasya nama niyamaha. Following rules or metrics in understanding various forms prescribed in Vedas. Etad dharmasya lakshanam. These are the qualities of dharma. Natural growth, practice in the learning of Vedas, following multiple disciplined ways or pedagogies of learning Vedas, following rules or using metrics in understanding various forms prescribed in Vedas. These are all the qualities of dharma. In this world, nothing is permanent. Hence we must follow dharma. What does it mean? Anityani sharirani vaibhavo naiva shashvata नित्यम सन्निहितो मृत्यु कर्तव्यो धर्म संग्रह। अनित्यानि शरीराणि मीन्स मनुष्य का शरीर नश्वर है। अनित्यानि शरीराणि, विभवो नैव शाश्वतः, और धन वैभव भी शाश्वत नहीं है। विभवो नैव शाश्वतः, इवन द वेल्थ एंड फेम आर नॉट परमानेंट। नित्यम सन्निहितो मृत्यु, मृत्यु सदैव हमारे साथ रहती है, कभी भी हो सकता है, और डेथ इज ऑलवेज नियर अस। कर्तव्यो धर्म संग्रह, दैट इज वाई फॉलो धर्म। सो अनित्यानि शरीराणि विभवो नैव शाश्वतः, नित्यम सन्निहितो मृत्यु कर्तव्यो धर्म संग्रह। Because nothing is permanent in this world and death is always near us, that's the only truth. Follow dharma. अतएव हमारा यह कर्तव्य है कि धर्म द्वारा प्रतिपादित सिद्धांतों का पालन कर पुण्य प्राप्त करे। The human body cannot be destroyed. Even the wealth and fame are not permanent. Death is always near us. Hence it is our duty to follow dharma and acquire salvation. We know that dharma is all encompassing, it's everywhere. Sakalapi kala kalavitam vikala dharma kalam vina khalu. Sakale nayane vrutha yatha tanubhajam kanini kam vina. Sakalapi kala kalavitam. All our eyes are useless. Yatha, for instance, tanubhajam manifests. Kaninikam, eyeball, the life in the eye. Vina is again without. Or what it says is our eyes are useless without the eyeballs or the life in it. Sakalapi kala, all the art skills, fine arts that we acquire, kalavitam, and all other skills, vikala, are not useful. Dharma kalam, the kala called dharma, vina, again without, khalu is useless. If we don't follow dharma, all other skills that we have are useless. Like the eyes are useless without the eyeballs having life in them. Sakalapi kala kalavitam vikala dharma kalam vina khalu. Sakale nayane vrutha yatha tanubhajam kaninikam vina. So that's the spirit of dharma. So dharma and happiness are also related. Hence follow dharma. Na kleshena vina dravyam vina dravyena na kriya. Kriyahinena dharmaha syad dharmahine krutha sukham. Na kleshena, without differences. Vina is vina, without. Dravyam is wealth. Vina, without dravyena, without wealth. Na kriya, no work. Without wealth, without work, without differences. Kriyahinena, without work. Dharma syad dharma. It's not possible to practice dharma. Hina krutaha sukham. How can one achieve happiness? So there is no wealth without differences or fights. There is no meaningful or auspicious work done without wealth. And without auspicious work, it is not possible to practice dharma. Without dharma, how can one achieve happiness? So going back to the sloka, na kleshena vina dravyam, vina dravyena na kriya, kriyahinena dharma syad dharmahine krutah sukham. The shloka tells us that without differences and fights, one cannot earn wealth. And hence practicing dharma will also be difficult. Now obviously the context here in terms of fight is with oneself, or the shloka explains us the duality that exists within every one of us. So friends, Dharma is the principle of righteousness and the principle of unity. Whatever creates conflict is adharma. And whatever puts an end to conflict and brings about unity and happiness is dharma. The rules of dharma have been laid down for regulating the worldly affairs of men in this exposition. Dharma brings as its consequence happiness, both in this world and in the next world. Dharma is the means of preserving one's self. If you transgress it, it will kill you. If you protect it, it will protect you. It is your sole companion after your death as well. It is the sole refuge of humanity. So friends, that's all for this Saturday. See you next Saturday with another episode on Dharma. The part 4 wherein I will dwell on our behavior when we follow Dharma. Until then, Namaskar, Dhanyavad and thank you.